So thanks for that question, Jonas. On to question number 3 here from John. Hi there, John. I'm an estate agent, and I'm really worried after the mini budget and the impact everything is like to have on the property market right now. Sales are still good, but I can see signs of some properties being reduced, which would have been unheard of several months ago. Do you have any thoughts about what's likely to happen with the market and what agents can do to bolster their business and ride the storm if there's going to be a recession? I really don't want my business to go from feast to famine. Okay. All right, John. Well, thanks for the question. Thanks for joining in with the webinar and putting that question forward. This is an interesting one. I've seen a lot of panic and accusations flying on particularly on social media about the mini budget, as they're calling it. And yeah, I think there's been a lot of reaction to this. A lot of people are saying things are not looking good, particularly on the financial markets, the pension markets, and mortgage markets as well, with a lot of lenders sort of retracting mortgages. The problem with these sorts of situations, John, is it's not necessarily the general economics that drives the market. It's actually the fear and the emotions. So as I'm sure you're probably aware, the two emotions that drive markets are fear and greed, right? And when the market's going up, as in the stock market or the housing market, a lot of people feel like they're missing out. So they get the FOMO, fear of missing out, and they pile into the market because they want to take advantage of the fact the market's going up. And then when the market peaks and it starts coming back down again, which is perfectly natural, then everybody gets panicked and they start pulling out of the market because they don't want to lose money, and then it affects the market and brings it back down again. Okay. So those are fairly simple emotions that drive the markets, and we have to remember that we're dealing with emotional human beings. That's what we are. And it's when the media gets hold of these sorts of things and starts talking about recession that really starts to drive the sort of nail in the coffin, if you like, and starts to push the market in a negative direction. So I don't want to necessarily join in with the panic. I have been expecting, as some of you will know, I think from previous podcasts that we've done and webinars, that I have been expecting the market to contract and pull back since 2019. I did not foresee, for the life of me, as pretty much everybody around the world didn't see Corona coming along, and the response across the world from all the different governments who just hit the printing press, pumped a load of money and pumped that into the economy. Now, at some point, that has to be paid back. At some point, the damage in the supply chains across the world that have been shut down are going to come to light, all those problems. And that's been happening. And this is what's creating this perfect storm, if you like, of negativity in the press and all the sort of economic problems that will follow. Now, I do follow a lot of people that are a lot smarter than me. As I say, I never profess to have all the answers. I just listen to people who've got, a bit more business acumen than I have, and that know a little bit more about the markets than I have, and that have been around in the world a lot longer than I have. And that they have all got one eye on the future, that the market is the property market and the stock market and the general economies of the world are going to contract, and that's pretty normal. We talk about recession cycles of 7 to 10 years and depression cycles of around 100 years, and the last depression was in 1929. So we're about due for that. Now, I'm not saying we're going to enter a depression. I don't want you to think that that's what I'm pushing here. But the point is, with any of these kind of situations, you want to be a good Boy Scout, right? And you want to be prepared for what might lie ahead in the future. And if you read, I think it's not Good to Great, but Built to Last. Yeah, it's called Built to Last by Jim Collins and Jerry Paras. Now, that book looks at a number of different companies and how they managed to survive all of these different recessions and depressions, and how they built really strong businesses. And the outcome of that book was not what I was expecting at all. And the reason I mention it is because, if we are going to be faced with this dreadful economic situation, how do we make our businesses survive and thrive in these sorts of situations? And as I say, the outcome of that book is not what I thought it was. And I would highly encourage you to read that book with all of the uncertainty in the marketplace, because it will give you confidence about what to do as we enter that market. And I haven't, unfortunately, got time to go into all of that. But what I can tell you is that in these sorts of situations, a lot of businesses make this one fatal mistake, and that is they cut their advertising and promotion because they see it as an unnecessary cost. Okay, that is a huge mistake. And the fact of the matter is, there has never been a better time in the whole history of the world to do shameless self promotion across social media and all the rest of it for very little cost. Okay, for the cost of a smartphone or your laptop, and just spending the time doing all of this different content creation. Okay, now I think it's absolutely vital that businesses embrace this. And what you're going to see is that this market will sort the wheat from the chaff. Okay, there will be a number of in the property industry specifically, there'll be a number of service providers that haven't been providing top-notch service that are going to fall by the wayside, and there's going to be those that have been providing stellar service who are only going to get stronger as a result of going through it. And I'll be honest with you, just to answer your question in more detail here, John, this is the whole reason why I wrote the Estate Agent Secrets book series. Okay, so this is a trilogy that I put together because this is a new way of sort of engaging in the estate agency business in a way that helps you to win more instructions and also increase your fees. And it's doing it in a way that doesn't involve you working more hours, longer hours, getting more stressed out with your business or anything like that. You can actually do it in a way that harnesses and leverages technology, and that gives you what I'd like to call the unfair competitive advantage in your business. Okay, and that I'll encourage you to reach out to me about that, John, and I'll help you get a copy of those books. But the whole point is that you can't continue to do what everybody else is doing in the marketplace. Okay. And if you look at what most other agents are doing, and this is not a criticism of agents, but this is just looking at what a lot of people do in the market, is that the service unfortunately becomes commoditized, because a lot of agents look around at what their competition is doing and they just replicate what they're doing and then try and do the same service but for a little bit cheaper. And that's what ends up with what's known as the commodity death spiral kicking in. Everybody starts charging a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less, and then before you know it, it's a race to the bottom in terms of price. And actually, if you look at people like the most successful retailers in the world, so Chanel, for example, or I think it's Vivienne Westwood, they have the same sort of strategy. What they do is they do a very clever marketing technique, which is they reduce the supply or the availability of what they have available. So I believe Chanel, with all their retail shops around the world, they only send 1 or 2 items of the latest release to each store. So you either buy it when it's on the shelf and you own it and you have your Chanel handbag or whatever else it is that you might have, or you don't have anything at all. So they have a very unique marketing strategy around supply of the services that they have available. But because supply is limited and they've created the desire, then the demand also increases, which allows them to increase their price. So think about that along the lines of your service offering. How can you, increase the value of what you're offering and limit the supply? Do you want to be one of these agents that appeals to all and sundry and sells every type of property available from the least expensive to the most expensive? Or do you want to specialize in a certain niche that allows you to charge a very fair fee for the work that you do and the value that you provide to your clients? So that's how I would tackle that one, John. The other thing I'm going to say to you as well is that we at WiggyWam recognize that the economy is going to be uncertain and there is going to be some difficulties on the horizon for a lot of people, and we are sort of embracing that, if you like, and we're going to be launching a new service very, very soon. This really help to help agents and others to really make more money by offering new and improved suites of services to really help offer a stellar level of service to their clients, so that you've got more opportunities to make more sales, if you like, and increase your revenue. Okay, I'm trying to keep it under wraps a little bit at the moment, because what I have seen, unfortunately, is that there's a lot of our competition who are copying what we're doing. As I said before, it's probably a compliment in some respects, but I think that the main point is that as the economy changes and alters, and we end up in a situation where this sales will naturally slow down. Okay, so we've had the market far too good for too long, sales are naturally going to slow down, and we're going to have to change the way we're providing value to our clients if we're going to succeed, and if we're going to keep that financial scoreboard ticking over and the cash register ringing. Okay, so if you want more information on that, John, please reach out to me, shoot me an email. Happy to help at wiggywam.co.uk, and I'll gladly sort of take you under my wing and show you what we're all about as far as that's concerned. But it is really exciting. I would like to say it's going to revolutionise the estate agency space. Yeah, we'll wait and see whether I'm forced to eat my own words. Okay, so please send me your questions next week or for next week's webinar. Get them through to us on the email address happytohelp@wiggywam.co.uk, or you can go to the WiggyWam website, which is wiggywam.co.uk, which is WIGGYWAM.co.uk, and you can find in the sort of weekly Get Your Property Questions Answered webinar. And we're going to post updates on that on the site, and you can drop your questions into there, or you can tweet us at WiggyWam UK on Twitter, and we'll gladly take those questions in as well. So thanks for joining me, guys and girls. Really enjoyed it again this week. Hopefully, as I say, we'll be live next week from the new digs, and it's going to be pretty exciting seeing how we move an entire house and get the office set up in time for that. So wish me luck, and I wish you all an amazing week, guys and girls. Have a great time, and let me know if I can help you in your property journey. All right, see you very soon. Take care, guys. Bye.